Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Hello and welcome back again, everyone. So we have another episode of The Last of Us. Episode 2 aired this past Sunday. Wow, what a doozy. As always, before we get started, you guys, please take a moment to smash that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I think if this episode had an overarching theme, it would just be holy shit. This week, I was a huge fan of what they did with this cold open again. Something that I really am liking about these cold opens, in addition to just being very well done. While it deviates from the original story as it was told in the game, it doesn't actually change anything. Rather than changing the canon, rather than changing the original story as it was told, it is actually expanding on it in an additive way. Essentially, it adds to the world building and the context, or adds to the lore itself, not actively changing details in a way that several adaptations have been guilty of, where they actually deviate far too much from the source material. I really like what they're doing by expanding on the world building of The Last of Us. Back to this week's cold open. This was dark. This was heavier than I expected, and I expected it to be heavy. I mean, I know it's not going to be all sunshine and daisies. This is The Last of Us. When the character of the professor is asked, "What do we do?" and her response being what it was, I genuinely I think I went bug-eyed. I expected this to be heavy, but I just want to say they seriously knocked this out of the park. I mean, they're like 2 for 2 on these cold opens. This just gave such an ominous feel to the opening of this episode. Holy crap, you guys. There were a lot of things that I expected that would kind of instill this feeling of dread or panic that the professor was likely feeling in this moment, but I don't think I was prepared for that response. In the game, there is a moment when Tess makes a remark about tactics that they used to slow down the infection, but I don't think the impact was captured quite as well as they did in the series. The absolute gut punch with this, it just really served to drive home this sense of futility and hopelessness. Even more so coming from the scientific community, especially a lifelong expert in mycology. Just that comment of, "What do we do?" And she basically says, "The city's finished. Take it out with everybody in it." I don't think I expected that response. Yeah, I think this was just so well done. I was just very, wow. I was a bit stunned. Moving on a less serious note. Okay, my sass baby has returned. So I know we got a taste of Ellie's sass in the first episode, but it was very more hostility than actual sass. So this episode we got to see a little more of Ellie's playful or lighthearted humor, just kind of her witty remarks that she makes to various things happening. My sass baby. This is the Ellie that I love. I love when Joel was like, if she so much as twitches, and then she's like, she's my sass baby, and I love her. I was cracking up when she asked if she could have a weapon. Of course, Daddy Joel and Tess are like, absolutely not. I genuinely burst out laughing when she was like, okay, I'll just throw my fucking sandwich at them. Sandwich, go, sandwich, go! Ooh. Something I also noticed that I thought was really neat about this particular shot is you see Ellie's in the light and Joel is shrouded in darkness. He's in the shadows. Meanwhile, Tess is kind of directly in between them, situated partially in the light, partially still in the shadow. I thought that was some really cool lighting symbolism. Also, I love that they included the hotel scene from the game. This is my little sweet goof. She's such a dork. I love her. I love her and all her infinite dorkiness. Perfection. She's just perfection. Kalii, insert the perfection meme. But I love that they included the hotel scene. You're a weird kid. You're a weird kid. Nice retort, Ellie. So another little detail that I thought was really interesting that this episode kind of explained further, getting more context surrounding the infected. This whole premise of a collective or hive mind, all the infected as well as the cordyceps fungus that grows throughout the city and underground, all of this being connected, communicating with one another. I thought that was a really cool detail. It kind of seems like a fungus like this would be connected, especially how it has a single goal: to spread. It is a living organism that is trying to survive. It takes over the host in order to reproduce, in order to spread. I really liked how this established that everything was connected. Just like somebody's central nervous system, these tangible roots and tendrils of the fungus, everything's connected. I just thought this was a really cool detail, and not only that, if everything is connected and things can communicate with one another, nothing is secret. I feel like this just ups the tension where, let's say Joel or Ellie take out an infected, but the cordyceps nearby communicates that with the horde. I mean, that just ups the stakes where it's like the horde is never that far. There's always danger. It just makes everything infinitely more dangerous. Hordes are bad enough in zombie movies where they're like these slow-moving, half-decomposed zombies. When you make that super fast, out-of-their-mind crazy cordyceps infected, that gets pretty nightmarish pretty quickly. Once again, that overarching theme of just holy shit, We gotta talk about it. Gotta talk about it, you guys. Let's talk about it. So, the scene of the museum where we are introduced to clickers. Holy shit. Anyone who has watched me play these games knows that clickers are the bane of my existence. I hate them with a tangible hatred that burns hotter than 1,000 suns. Also, the most unrealistic thing about this series so far is that Joel hasn't died once. I don't know about you, but when I'm doing a playthrough, I die. You lose track of how many times that I get Joel destroyed, obliterated, and most of the time, unless it's my own stupidity, most of the time it's clickers that take me out. Because clickers freaking suck! They freaking suck! Throughout this entire scene, when Joel, Tess, and Ellie are going through the museum, oh my god, you guys, the suspense. This entire scene had shivers running down my spine. I was like, oh my god, pissing myself. It's pee-pee pants time. The way that they kind of built up the suspense and ramped up the tension throughout this entire scene was so well done. And I just want to say, they really, really, really were spot on. They captured the movements of the clickers so well. The clickers and other infected were a huge concern of mine coming into this series, and I just have to say, this whole scene, I was so impressed. Clickers were one of the things that I was so concerned about. I was really concerned about it. They not only stuck to the source material, but they stuck to it so well. They just really captured, I mean, even the movements, like I just think that they really, really managed to capture the movement of the clickers so well, like the erratic, twitching, spastic movements and the flailing that is seen so prevalently with clickers in the game. I was so happy with how well they pulled this off. I also loved the attention to detail and the little similarities to game mechanics and tropes. The partial collapse blocking off the previous area, crouching behind objects to hide from enemies. I also loved that Joel alerts a clicker by stepping on glass. Relatable Joel moment. If this ain't my dumbass. Throughout the series, I have so far loved how they have included notable or recognizable shots directly from the game. And they might tweak them a little bit, but some of them have been identical. Almost a frame-by-frame recreation. Some of them are these big impactful moments that are recreated, but some of them are kind of beautiful or memorable shots sprinkled in from the game. One example is obviously when Ellie's walking across the wood bridge. It's a plank precariously dangling between two buildings in order to cross the rooftops. Right after this shot is a quick little scene of Joel asks, well, is it everything you hoped for?
So is that everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out, but man, you can't deny that view.
This is just like a little moment from the game that I love. These recreations of certain scenes from the game, it doesn't feel cheap or gimmicky. I'm really loving the way that they've kind of done it with class. You can tell they put their heart and soul into this, just like the original game. It really, really comes through. Guys, with this one that we're about to talk about, in particular, this is a little spoilery because the series does change a little bit about what we originally saw in the game. So this is a big one. Stop the video now if you don't want to see spoilers. Stop the video. Stop it. Stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
Don't go. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Do not pass go. I don't know. So this is where Joel, Ellie, and Tess, they reach their destination and things have gone sideways. The Firefly group that they were supposed to meet up with where they were going to drop off Ellie is not there. They were taken out. This detail itself is the same from the game to the series. In the game, Fedra seems to be a lot more involved. In the game, it is Fedra that is chasing them and also Fedra who attacked the Firefly group. In the series, that's not the case. Fedra is nowhere to be seen. The Firefly group ultimately fought amongst themselves. One of them was infected and attacked the others, and as Joel said, everybody lost. So the entire group has been taken out. So Tess's reaction to this is very similar in the game and in the series. She's immediately frantic, searching for anything that might lead to where they may have gone or where they were supposed to take Ellie, where this facility is that she's supposed to go to. This scene, again, I was very confused because I was like, wait a minute, isn't it Fedra in the game? Where's Fedra? Fedra's not here. It's just the infected. I'm still kind of curious what they're gonna do with that because Fedra was who was pursuing them, but I guess it'll just be infected. Who knows? I don't know. They are changing some things. In the moment, a lot was happening. I kind of just had to go with it. I just had to suspend any disbelief and just kind of roll with it because too much was happening too quickly. So I was like, okay, there's no Fedra. Got it. What? So they did change some of the key details around the context. As we find out, Tess has been infected. She's frantic. She's trying to find out where Ellie was supposed to go. And this is when things connect for Ellie and she realizes, oh my God, she's infected.
Holy shit. She's infected.
Tess reveals her bite. And this is a key moment where Tess is like, Joel, this is real. Ellie is real.
Give me your arm. This was 3 weeks. I was bitten an hour ago and it's already worse. This is fucking real, Joel.
This is where she tells Joel, this is real. This is real. Another little detail that I really appreciated that was not there in the game was the attention to detail when it came to Tess. Tess was bitten on the neck. That is very close to your head, implying that the infection would travel even faster to one's brain. Tess wouldn't have long. The infection would take hold very quickly, even faster the closer it is to your head. So Tess would not have long. So the fact that as she's grabbing Ellie's arm to show Joel, I loved the added detail of her tremor. She's starting to lose control of her body. She's losing control of her arm. That was a really nice detail that was thrown in there because in the game, aside from the bite, she's not showing any signs. And I know it's happened so recently, but again, when it is stressed to us throughout the story how fast the infection actually takes hold, you would think there'd be more details, especially being so close to her head. Another thing that was really tense about this scene, instead of Fedra, it is the infected. One of the members of the Firefly group is still alive. They're infected, and they suddenly jolt to life, and Joel takes them out. As he does this, you can see the little tendrils coming up from the ground and wrapping around the infected's fingers, and far away, somewhere else in the city, you see the same thing happening with another infected. You see the horde, and you see him start to rouse and then take off running. This was a bone-chilling moment. I think my stomach actually dropped. The sheer number of infected that we see full out sprint toward Ellie, Joel, and Tess's location, and it's all of them. This was horrifying. So they kind of changed the context surrounding Tess's last stand. In the game, as well as the series, Tess stays behind to buy Joel and Ellie some time to escape. The game versus the series, there were a lot of differences in this moment, especially the context surrounding it. But to me personally, I don't think the impact or the meaning of this moment was changed at all. I think Tess's last stand still had just as much meaning, still had the same impact. Quite frankly, seeing her death made it all the more real because in the game, we don't get to be with her in her last moments. The way that they did it in the series still had the same overall impact, but I think if anything, they actually strengthened this moment. It was very well done, albeit deeply uncomfortable. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was this shit? What, Druckmann? Was this you, Druckmann? I have questions. I have a lot of questions. Regardless, this scene was very well done. As someone who has played the game, who has seen this story before, the way that they're doing it is a way that makes it new in a way, but still captures the essence of what the original game was and what I loved about it. Very well done. Aside from whatever the frick cursed image. I'm uncomfortable. I think I downloaded the wrong series. Right after this moment, these fuckers tricked me. The song that starts to play is from the second game. It was from the second game. I was bamboozled. And not only that, this is personal. This song in particular, this is not one of the top songs. However, this is my favorite. I have been personally victimized. I am the victim of a hate crime.
I am a victim of a hate crime.
That's not what a hate crime is.
Well, I hated it.
Yeah, that would have been nice to know. If anything happens to Ringo, I will go on a murderous rampage. Oh god. Let's use my brain this time. I snuck attack, sort of.